here is my ESP8266 module, and I have a breadboard here where I want to do this project at. So first part will be inserting this board to this breadboard here. Then the next component is now our DHT sensor. So this is DHT22. If you have DHT11, it will still work the same. So let me show you these pins. So at this end we have the ground pin, then on this other end we have the VCC pin, and the second pin from the VCC is the signal pin. So I'm going to have my DHT sensor here, and here's the final recap again. So the VCC pin is this pin at the end here, and it's connected to the V-in of the ESP module. Then we have the ground pin, which is connected to the ground pin, which is the pin at the other end. Then the second pin from the VCC pin is the signal pin, which is connected to D4, or the GPIO pin number 2. So with that done, let's head over to configure the device first, or the Brink application, before we go into the code. So here I'm on the Brink dashboard, and I'm on the developer zone. So all you need is to now create the template. So you click on new template, and the template we are going to create is the DHT temp. So we can give it any name. So for my case, I'm going to use DHT temp, and then I will select the type of the hardware I'm using, which is ESP8266. The connection type is Wi-Fi, then click done. Then after that is done, now we go to the data stream. So on the data stream, we click new data stream, click virtual pin, and we need now to have two virtual pins, which is V1 in this case. So you're going to expand this other line here, then select the virtual pin number 1, and after that we can now name this as, let's say, temperature. So click on and write temperature, and on the data type you click and say double, then units will be, you can write maximum value to be 100, then units will be degrees Celsius. You can use any measurement you want. If you want Fahrenheit, you can use Fahrenheit. Then click on create. Then we need to add another data stream, which will be a virtual pin as well, and this now will be virtual pin number 2. As you can see, V1 is used, and now this virtual pin number 2 will be humidity. So we'll be recording the value of humidity here. Click on data type as double, maximum value is 100. You can leave units named or put as you like, then click create. And before you click save, you need to come to the web dashboard, and we are going to add now two gauges which will be used to record the values of the temperature and the humidity. So you scroll down until you see the gauge, double click, and they will appear here. So let's add one more. Then after that is done, you can see once I highlight this gauge, the setting button pops up, so you need to click that. Then the data stream, you click and select temperature, and then click on save. And let's do the same for the gauge 2, which will be now the humidity. You select humidity and click on save here, and now you click on this other save button here. Once that is done, you give it time to save the templates. So on the device tab, you're going to click on here the device. Then we are going, so you can see the device is the template is DHT temp. So click on device, then click on new device. Then we are going to add the device from the template, and the template is a temp, DHT temp, which we have just created. Then click on create, and once that is done, you receive a token code, which will be needed now in our code as we do the programming. So this is the code that I'm talking about, which consists of the template ID, name, and the token. So you just need to copy this to clipboard, and now we head up to the Arduino IDE software. So let me take you through this code very briefly. So the first thing is now including the link you have received, or the code that you received after creating the template and adding the device from the blank application. So these are these three lines here, which include the blank template ID, the name, and the token. So the next thing is now including the Wi-Fi library, the blank library, and the DHT sensor library. To do that, you come here on the sketch, click on include library, then click on manage library, and on the search bar you type in the DHT sensor library, and you click on install to install the library. So I have already installed mine. So you need to do that for the DHT sensor, the library, the Wi-Fi, and the blank application. So once that is done, the next step is now to define where we have connected our signal pin of the DHT sensor. So I have connected it to the GPIO pin number 2, which is D4 in this case. And after that, now you need to define the type of the DHT sensor you are using. So mine, I'm using DHT22. If you're using DHT11, you just delete the DHT22 and type in DHT11, or you can uncomment either of these other lines here depending on the type of the DHT sensor you're using. And now on this other code here, or on this other line, this is where you are going to type in your password and the Wi-Fi name. Then you need to type in this code. Just copy and paste it. It's the same code that was sent to you by the Blink. And after that, now we initialize the temperature and the humidity to start as 0, so you give them a float of 0. And the next step now here is initializing now the DHT sensor. So after that, now on the void setup, we are going to begin the serial monitor, begin the DHT sensor, and run the blank application. So on the void loop, where now we need the code to run continuously, so we need the blank application to be running continuously, and it will wait for 2 seconds. Then it will read the DHT sensor. The DHT will read the temperature and the humidity. So we have assigned them these variables here, which is the DHT and the temp DHT. Then if no readings has been recorded, so we are going to print failed to read from the DHT sensor, and we are going to return, then try again. And now we can print the values of the temperature in either Fahrenheit or the degrees Celsius, and it can print the humidity value as well. And we are going to print this asterisk keys here just to separate the values of the DHT sensor and what we're going to type in next. So we're going to print this asterisk keys here and print an empty space. And right, the final part of this code is now writing on the virtual pins on the blank application. So we are going to use the blank.virtual write, and we want to write at virtual pins number 1 and 2, and we need to write the virtual pin 1, we need to write the temperature value, and the virtual pin number 2, we're going to write the humidity value. And after that is done, you need to have selected the correct module you're using, and select the correct port, then click on upload. So the program will compile the sketch first and then upload. Once your code is uploaded, all you need to do now is go to your Play Store or App Store and search for the blank application. So here's the Play Store, and on the search bar you're going to type in blank IoT, and you have the app installed. So for my case, I've installed the app, So you click on open, then wait for it to load. And now you can see here our template that we created. So this is our template, the DHT temp. So you click on that, and now it's telling you to create a mobile interface for your device. So you come to this section here, then we are going to add two gauges. So click on the add button, scroll down and add two gauges. So let's do the same thing for the second gauge, like that. Then click on them, and on the data stream, now we are going to select the data stream that we created, so they will appear here. The first one is the temperature, then click this, come to the second one, and the data stream, click on the humidity. So you can come on the design, and on the title here you can type in humidity, click OK, and do the same thing for the temperature. So write temperature, can put it on the middle. Let's put also this one on the middle, like that. So after you're done customizing your template or your blank application, so once you come back here and click on this arrow, go back, then you can see the recordings of the DHT sensor on your mobile phone. So here are the recordings. So now what we're going to do is try to apply some heat on this DHT sensor and see whether the values will reflect on the mobile phone. So I'm going to put on the mobile phone there. So let me first try to blow the DHT sensor and see whether the humidity will reflect. As you can see guys, the humidity is changing as I try to blow in air to the DHT sensor. So I'm going now to bring in here this hot soldering gun here and see whether we'll have some changes on the temperature. And you can see guys, we have started rising slowly. We are now at 28.1 degrees Celsius, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and we keep on going up as long as the soldering iron is near the DHT sensor. That's all for today guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I will also leave the link description for the code in the description.